Hi, Vampir's Kiss.
An angel.
We're here at, as you can see, it's called the Wild Horse Mesa Bar. This is right down Highway 6 from where we live. And the reason we're doing this video is because I just thought it would be kind of interesting to tell a little bit of the history. At least I don't know all the history, so I'm going to just say that right now. But I know what I know from living here, which is almost 20 years now. So I will give you that part of what I know. And then if you're interested, you can look up more about it. Anyway, this used to be an actual working bar. Excuse me. When we first moved out here, it was a bar, on and off actually, up until maybe about 8 years ago, and that was the last time it was open to sell any kind of spirits and things like that. But we, actually I'm not going to say we, they've used it mostly for movie sets, you know, on and off, almost the whole time we lived here. Well, I'm going to tell you some of the things that have been filmed here. When our family first moved out here to Highland Meadows, we were maybe here about a year and a half, and I started working for the Water Association as a volunteer, and I used to write this little like community newspaper. It was called the Voice of Highland Meadows. Anyway, through that I got to know the fire department, and I decided to join the fire department. And it was while I was with the fire department that, I don't know if any of you remember this show, it was called In Plain Sight. It was on TV for about 5 years.
USA Network.
On the USA Network. We loved it because, you know, there was so much, it was all filmed in Albuquerque or out here or in different locations. It was really cool. Well, yeah, Mary McCormick was in it. It was about 2004, 2003, 4, 5, 6, right in there, that it ran. And they came and they filmed the pilot here, and they also filmed, okay, because I couldn't find my stupid DVD of it to know exactly which one it was either episode 8 or episode 9 was completely filmed here, where her and Marshall were they were pinned down. He had been shot, and they were pinned down inside this building. This was the building they were pinned down in, and she actually had to go MacGyver on him and use a siphoning hose to siphon off something to save his life. And they were inside this bar. It didn't show it was a bar. It looked like they had turned it into like a storage shed or something. But that's where that particular part of it was. Also, the part in that episode where they drove into a gas station, that actually is just right across the street from where we pick up our mail. And it used to be our little store. And so the whole episode is basically all totally filmed out here. So if you...
Yeah, because most of it are also on the other side. There's this area that somebody took me to, like a big gully. That's, I think, where he was shot at was...
Oh, is that it too?
Yeah.
And there's a wall too they're parked next to, that's over there. So anyway, you know, if you want to see where Vampy and Angel live, you could look up that episode. It gives you a pretty good detail of what it looks like out here, minus the Hollywood stuff. But one thing I want to say, this is just kind of like a sidebar. When they did film the episode 8 or 9 out here, I was still on the fire department at that time, because it was almost a year after they filmed the pilot that they came and filmed the second episode. And I was one of them that had to babysit the fire department during that time, so that we made sure nothing got stolen and stuff. And oh my God, talk about good eats on those trucks. Oh gosh, we got to eat things like trout, and I didn't eat anything, but there was crab and lobster and things like that. I was more respectful. Other people out here hogged up on it, but I'm a respectful person, and I mostly had the other cool things like, you know, the watercress sandwiches and things like that. I don't know. They had some really good food, though. I will say that.
It sounds nice.
I hope that wind isn't an issue. I didn't bring my dead cat with me. Sorry. So anyway, that's where the filming that I can recall started since we've lived out here. It was
Yeah.
in plain sight first. And then the second one that I can remember being filmed out here was actually, and I could not find the name of it, it was some low budget movie. Susan Sarandon was in it. And I don't know what the name of it was. I was on Internet Movie Database. I couldn't find anything about it. So if you can find it, leave it in the comments below. And then the next one is Gambit. Now that was a remake because Gambit had been made before, I think in the 60s. And Gambit was actually filmed somewhat here, and it was also filmed out at this stock barn that's about 18-20 miles from here. But Cameron Diaz was in that movie, and Cameron Diaz was actually here on location. I'm actually thinking Michael Caine was in that movie too. I could be wrong. I'm sure that you'll correct me if I am. It was not a good movie, but I watched it because I always try to watch anything that's filmed in this area. Let's see. The next one well, I don't know, this is in order. The Last Stand with Arnold Schwarzenegger. It wasn't filmed exactly right here, but a stone's throw away from here. It was filmed on some land that was owned by Buddy Majors. And they had built a bridge, and they actually blew that bridge up and stuff. So that scene in the movie where there's a bridge and they blow a bridge up, that was filmed here.
Yeah, the cars there's like a pileup of cars on 6. Yeah, that was hindering our driving, so I know it was near where we go too. And then I think that blowing up of the bridge was at night because the lights like lit up our house.
Yeah, the lights were really something because it was like just a stone's throw from our backyard.
Yeah.
And I would stand outside screaming, "Arnold!" Yeah, hoping that I would totally hinder their filming, because I was kind of a turd back then. So, and that was another dive of a movie, unfortunately. But most of that film was actually filmed in Bosque Farms, is what I understood.
Berlin too.
Oh, in Berlin too.
Yeah.
And I, to be honest, I couldn't sit through that movie. I tried, but I just couldn't sit through the whole thing. And then another movie that was filmed out here just a little bit was Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. Now that movie was supposed to be set in Kuwait, and where she was a reporter, wasn't she, in that movie?
Never watched it.
I tried watching that one too, couldn't do it. But so it's kind of sad when you think that they film it here and they think that this looks like some foreign country where there's a war.
Tina Fey, I like Tina Fey.
Yeah, Tina Fey was in that movie.
I've never watched it though.
Yeah, I never watched it either. To be honest, I did try to watch it. I got an hour into it and I just wasn't interested. It was kind of stupid. And then the last movie, which I don't know if you can see it, I'll pull it in.
Maybell's
It says Maybell's Cafe.
Diner.
Oh, Diner, sorry. Diner on it. And actually that thing that's up in the air there used to say bar on it. And the blue trim that's on it and stuff, the last people that filmed here are the ones that did that. And the very last movie that was filmed here, oops, I dropped my notes, my cheater notes, was called Kate Says Goodbye. Now, Olivia Cook and Mary Steenburgen were in that. Mary Steenburgen was actually Maybelle, and Olivia Cook, her name's probably not real well known, but she was in Bates Motel. She was the one that had to have the lung transplant that Norman was friends with, and then Norman's brother ended up marrying her. That was her. And this was an indie movie. And I tell you, from all indications that I could see of this movie, I love indies. Indies are my favorite kind of movies. She was a girl that was born in a small town. This is where she worked. She wanted out of this small town, because I know they filmed along the railroad tracks, because you can see it if you look it up on Internet Movie Database. And it just looked like a really good movie. If anybody can find that movie anywhere on the internet, please comment below, because I would love to see it. I mean, being it was the last one filmed here. Because the other thing we found out too is that, well, of course the bar's been for sale, because I guess the woman that owns it is up in 8 years. but this bar still owned a liquor license. And so she was selling it for the bar, 4 acres of land in the bar for like around $225,000, right in there, because the liquor licenses were so much money. Well, I just found out this morning from our county commissioner that the liquor license actually sold a while back. And somebody, I'm not going to say the name, but the guy that owns the cattle auction barn that's down the road about 18 miles is the guy who bought the license. So she said that he can use it in this area. So I imagine that's called in this area, even though it's 18 miles from here. So sadly, Highland Meadows lost the potential for, some sort of a business being out here, because we absolutely have no businesses. There's only houses here. So I imagine that this, to me, this is a landmark. I don't know when it was built. It actually, to be honest, because I'm going to take you closer so you can see. I almost wonder if at one time, years and years ago, maybe this was open because it's right here on the pre-1938 Highway 66. So maybe back then it was not a bar, and maybe it was a gas station. Now I'll show you why I say that. Because of this ridge right here. Angel, you're right in the way. Sorry about that. Right here. Then maybe that is where the gas pumps used to be. And, there used to maybe be tanks here. I don't know, maybe that used to be one of the tanks. I don't remember that tank being here the whole time that we've lived here, though. Somebody had said that that was actually a prop from a movie, which that seems like a fairly large prop for a movie. But it could have been. But, this is wood on top of this. So it easily probably could have been gas pumps here. And,
bungholes that are just destroying it.
Yeah, and they're just destroying this. Anyway, so this could have been a gas station before it was a bar. And then the woman bought the bar and, or bought the gas station or whatever this, was for sure. And because she owned another bar in town, so it was fairly easy for her to get a liquor license. And this has had a liquor license all along. But you can see what, people, it upsets me so much when this stuff happens. What people are doing to the building, I don't know why, they have to graffiti it. And
really, they were shooting it?
And there's bullet holes. Yeah, there's bullet holes in the door. And they obviously broke into it not broke into it, but they broke the windows.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes me sick when people do stuff like this. I don't understand why.
Punks.
I know that this bar has its own well.
I can see the inside.
And there's a couple slabs of cement over there. I think that maybe at one time, the people that ran this maybe was a gas station, used to live back there. I don't know if you can see those white pipes sticking up out of the ground, but it's a fairly large slab. I bet there used to be a house there, and maybe there used to be a little shed right there. Because that would be part of this 4 acres that's sitting here. It's an oddly shaped 4 acres. But I was also here one time when I was writing my little The Voice of Highland Meadows paper. We have an independent film festival here, and they get financing through the state of New Mexico. Now, I'm not sure if they still do it, but they did, and I don't remember the name of it. But they were filming this little pirate-like movie, but it was in cars, and this bar was in that. And I actually did an interview with the director of that, which was, even though he was like nobody famous, it was pretty exciting. It was my first celebrity interview for my little newspaper, and he was telling me how they got the funding to be able to, film it. And up and down Highway 6 for 2 days was all these tricked out cars that looked like they were from Mad Max. And they were all part of this, movie thing that they did. Part of it was, the movie couldn't be more than, I think, 15 minutes long. for the film.
That's probably what I was thinking of with the cars all along.
Yeah, that was that. And so anyway, that's my little story about that. I was in this bar once. David and I played pool in here. It was nothing fancy, needed a lot of work. The bathroom was small. And I could see that there was a lot of potential if you had the money to be able to fix it up. But now it just looks like...
That water tower thing, or whatever they call that was brought in as a prop.
Yeah, I said that
Oh, did you?
because it said, yeah, they brought that in as a prop. And they put the word bar on it. And I
But
think
it
it's
wasn't for this last movie. It was for something before that, I think, because this being a diner, it wouldn't be a bar, too.
it would have been for, let me see if it's on that list.
I don't know.
Probably would have, I don't know what, I'm not sure what movie that would have been for.
Yeah.
But you know, another thing that's been filmed in this area too, not necessarily this location, but real close, just like 6 miles up the road, and on another day I'll take you up there and show you that. One of the last scenes for Breaking Bad where, I forgot the guy's name.
Walter White?
Walter White. God, slap me down and hit me.
Also, the scene where he contacts Jesse to work together too. That's also filmed. It was filmed a couple times.
Okay. I thought it was just. I've only watched the last episode of Breaking Bad. I never watched any of the rest of it.
I also believe that when they steal the barrels, I can't remember what the stuff is in the barrels. I believe that's that little thing off on the right side of Tahajali.
Okay, yeah. If you go from here, well, let's tell them where this is at.
Okay.
If you drive from here towards I-40 East, and you get off on an exit called Tahajali, which is actually just the next exit up from where we live, and you go to your left, and you drive down. God, it seems like it's a long ways. I would say it's at least 4 miles or more. And on your right-hand side, there's a little gas station there. And the only scene I ever seen that I know for sure was filmed out there was from the last episode, where he's on the payphone that was there, and he leaves his watch on top of the payphone. That I know was for sure filmed there. But I will take you there another day and show you that too. Which
It was several times that the sign at the exit saying BB was being shot there.
Oh yeah, we should probably tell that. That's another way we always know where something's being filmed. I don't know what it's like in the states you live in, but the New Mexico Film Association here, they use yellow signs, and then they have like black stripping on them. And then they used to actually use the real initials for the movie. So if the movie was Breaking Bad, it would say BB. Well, you know, if I could figure out that that's exactly what those signs meant, other people could figure it out. And pretty soon now they don't use the actual initials from the movies. So you have to be a little bit smarter than that. So, yeah. Because like when they were filming Fox, what's that thing called? Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. I don't know what the initials they used was, but we were told they were filming Better Call Saul, and Better Call Saul's never been filmed out here.
No, but Los Lunas it has been.
Yeah, it's been filmed in Los Lunas, and I thought in Balloon too.
I don't know. Oh, maybe, yeah.
Yeah, but right now they're filming something that's LOC down in Tahajali, because I've seen the sign the last time I came from Albuquerque. I don't know.
Huh, I don't know what the...
And I know I've seen...
You used to be able to look it up and it would tell you, but...
Yeah, it's like big secrets. I guess people started causing trouble. I personally don't think it's a big deal. But I do know that whatever that LOC stands for, it's a series, because I seen that LOC off the highway last year. So they use something in Tahajali, obviously reoccurrent in the series that they're doing.
What series are filmed here.
Yeah.
Then
Well, you know, another series that was filmed here, not here though, down the road, Night Shift. And Night Shift was, or The Night Shift, Night Shift was actually filmed at our doctor's office too. The hospital that they use in that's supposed to be San Antonio General, is actually, well, it's called did they change that to DeVita Medical Group? Well, it was, and then DeVita Medical Group sold it, so I'm not sure who owns that now. But, yeah, I mean, it's just amazing. You know, I lived in Portland, Oregon, 39 years. And in 39 years, I never seen anything be filmed, even though I know a lot of the Lifetime movies were filmed in Portland.
Breaking Bad also shot where our doctor's office is.
Oh, was it? But living here in New Mexico, it's like we're running into this stuff all the time and seeing it all the time.
'Cause they're
And
getting
so,
big tax breaks here.
oh yeah, we give like 35%. We'll pay for 35%. It's either 25 or 35% of
They're
the movie.
talking more now too.
Oh, great. God, I just love hearing this stuff. Of the movie costs. So that's why so many people come here. I mean, like Astronaut Farmer was filmed here, which that's a bee in my bonnet, because they said that was Texas, and it wasn't Texas. It was actually, New Mexico. Another one, Longmire, filmed in Socorro, New Mexico, and they say that is, I think it's Texas also.
Yeah.
And it just makes me so angry. I mean, are we not good enough? Are we like the redheaded stepchild and nobody wants to know that, we exist and that, I don't know. Oh,
You're
God.
rambling.
I know I am rambling. I'm sorry. Makes me mad. I found out something this morning that I'm not at all happy about, and I'm kind of taking it out on you guys. I apologize. So I need to go over here so not only can I say bye you all, so can Angel, because he can't stand.
Bored.
Yeah, he gets bored. He can't stand the sun. So say bye.
Bye.
Why'd you leave me?
I was hot.
You live in the wrong state.
Yeah, you live in the wrong state. You need to move to like someplace cooler.
Yeah, where it's like half hot and half cool.
Yeah,
So it's like the right temperature.
Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is Angel and Vampir's Kiss. Just giving you a little bit of, film history that I know. I'm sure there's a whole bunch more. And like I said, if you know it, leave it in the comments below. I would enjoy reading them. Or if anything I said is incorrect, correct me. I'll talk to you all later. Bye.